I would always be like, oh, I want to be in it, I want to be in it, I want to perform. And they would always be like, no. Like, no. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today's video is about my story about being bullied in middle school. So take a seat. Damn. That water is so delicious. Take a seat, sit back, relax. I'm sure a lot of you guys went through the same types of things. This isn't something foreign to a lot of people, but it's definitely something that really was a struggle growing up. I'm gonna break it all down to you guys. So I was in middle school a long time ago, almost 15 years ago. Okay, so that was a long time. Whatever, math isn't my strong suit. Bruh. Basically, I went to a school. It was a bilingual school because I speak Spanish and English from K through 8. But I was with the same group of people from K through 8. My class was like the second class. There was one grade above us that started the whole program before us. So we were in a little school in the projects of my city where I'm from. It was an old church. As it expanded, there was definitely like more grades, more kids, more teachers. At one point, we ended up having to move out that school. We moved out that school. We went to another school in the city. We were there for 1 year and it closed down. So then we transferred to another school. So at this time, if there was a third grade, there was a fourth, third, second, first in a kindergarten, but there was one class for every grade. There wasn't a lot of students. We went to this other school in our city, and this is on the other side of our city. I want to say that was our last move, but it really wasn't. Our school then burned down. You know when people are like, oh my god, I wish my school catches on fire and like we don't have to go to school? That shit really happened for us. We ended up going to a whole nother location. From like the entire time I was in this school, shit was really tough. The thing was, our school is a bilingual school. I'm Hispanic and I'm Black. I grew up with my Hispanic grandfather and then my white family. So like I didn't speak a lot of Spanish. I understood it because my grandfather spoke it. I wouldn't speak it back because I was like, I don't like how I sound, but I understand it fluently. But when I went to this school, I had to learn science and history in Spanish, and I learned math and English in English. When I first started there was one other white boy in my class. He was my best friend. There was another kid who was part white, part Black, and he was also my best friend. Us three were like really, really close friends from literally kindergarten till 8th grade. The rest of the people in the class were all Hispanic. They were all fluent in Spanish. So it was like me and these two other boys that we ended up being best friends, trying to learn Spanish from kindergarten till 8th grade. Now, me and these boys were like orchestra geeks. They were really smart. Those two were really smart. I was really terrible growing up. There's reasons behind it. Growing up, I used to get made fun of a lot. So when I was younger, my grandfather cut my hair off. I'm gonna put it in this clip because I look like a little boy. Now, he cut my hair off 2 times. That was embarrassing, especially as a little kid. So I definitely got made fun of for that. It happened again in 3rd grade, and that was like when we were a little bit older. No, 4th grade. And that's when like middle school started coming around. I had about like 5 girls in my class because my class was so small and they all didn't like me. There was this one girl, we were really close friends in like preschool and kindergarten, and it's funny because I'm like cool with everybody now, but me and her were like close in kindergarten and preschool, but we have like a love-hate relationship. I think I cut her hair off or she cut my hair off or something crazy when we were little. Got it! But it was always back and forth with us. Like we always were going at it, and that's essentially what happened when we grew up. Like, it was really like her friends against me. Other girls would always lean towards her. She was really cool. I always wanted to be her friend. It didn't really happen. She really wasn't the problem. She wasn't the bully in this case. She just hung out with the bully. Me and her were off and on from kindergarten till she ended up leaving, I think, like in 6th grade and came back in 8th grade. I don't remember. She ended up going to some other place. I don't even remember where she went. She came back in high school, I think. I started playing instruments in 3rd grade. And me and these 2 boys, we all started playing together. We're like the best in the city. It was the craziest stuff ever. Like, we were really, really good. But because I hung out with these boys, the girls didn't like me. I actually don't know why they didn't like me, other than my attitude. Like, I had a bad attitude because of the way I was being treated and the shit I was going through at home. Other than that, there wasn't really anything to hate on with me because I really didn't have anything. I just played sports, I played music, hung out with the boys, always. There was times when we would have like performances, we would have the talent show and stuff like that. They like would not let me in it. I would always be like, oh, I want to be in it, I want to be in it, I want to perform. And they would always be like, no. Like, no. There was another girl that came to our school when we were in, I think, 4th grade. She was friends with all the regular kids. They all didn't like me, and they were all older. So, like, I would hang out with the boys, I played sports with them, and because I was playing sports with them, I was a lesbian. Newsflash, I'm a fucking lesbian. But just because I played sports growing up didn't mean that I was a lesbian. And because I didn't dress girly, and I didn't want to hang out with the girls because I just didn't like what they would talk about. Like, we'd have gym class and I'd be the only chick playing a sport. I always was the only girl playing sport. The boys always liked that because that wasn't a bad athlete. Like I could play anything that we had in gym and they would pick me. I wasn't like the last one picked, but the girls would be sitting there on the stage just talking their shit.
Vintage. So adorable. Thanks. That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen.
I think it was really because like I didn't hang out with them, and I didn't really want to hang out with them for a while because of like the attitudes and like the way they dressed. They were dressing girly. I started dressing girly in 8th grade because I thought that was how I had to fit in. So my 8th grade graduation, I ended up wearing like a dress because I thought I had to like fit in and wear these dresses. At that time in 2007, the baby doll dress trend was on. I didn't own any of that because I was poor. I would get like hand-me-downs. I would get a whole bunch of hand-me-downs and like I would get made fun of for it. Like, okay, not all of us have money. And honestly, we were a poor school. Realistically, a lot of us in that class were poor as shit. It was really, really bizarre that people would make fun of me because I had shit that wasn't like Jordans and like stuff like that. Back in the day, Champion, Adidas, Puma, all those stupid things that everybody wears now. And I'm everybody because I definitely have some over there. All those things that like everybody wears now and everybody thinks is cool. I was wearing that stuff and people are making fun of me. I was literally bullied for wearing Adidas, and I kid you not, all these kids now want to wear Adidas. Or Champion. Champion was the Payless shoe store outfit. Like, you know when they have like some clothes at Payless? Like those were the clothes that were at Payless. And I was wearing them because we didn't have shit. So like the girls would come in with the new Jordans and the baby doll dresses and the Brazilian butt pants. I'm just saying, like, I wasn't allowed to wear that stuff because of how closed off my family was, because I was a fucking kid and I had to listen to my parents. So these girls would wear all these things and I wasn't wearing them because I just didn't get to, I wasn't allowed to, and I didn't have the money or the funds to. So I was a loser for that. I was a loser because I played in the orchestra, and I was a loser because I played sports. Fast forward, I had a friend when I was in 8th grade and she was in 7th grade. I was best friends with this shit. The problem with that was like she was considered the school whore.
What the fuck? I'm a whore, you idiot.
So I finally had a friend and she was considered the school whore. I never thought she was a whore. Needless to say, she was pregnant in 7th grade. At that time, I was like, don't mess with my friend. Like, she's pregnant. Who gives a shit? Like, blah, blah, blah. So I was there for her. And she didn't have anybody else. She was always in drama. So now I really do understand why people didn't fuck with me, because I literally always had her back. Wow. Anyways, because people say you are what your friends are, and it's like, I get it, but like it really wasn't like that, because honestly I was never ever thinking about relationships when I was at that age. And that was the other thing, I never hung out with the other girls because they were always talking about boys. I think they always wondered why I never talked about boys, which is why they called me a lesbian all the time. And you know what, they were right, because I wasn't having crushes on boys because all I was thinking about was school and basketball, because I was in 7th grade, which means I was probably like 12 years old. Why are you worried about dating people? It's so weird to me, because when I was 12 years old, I wasn't thinking about that. Now, this one girl, I'm gonna say her name starts with N-A. I had this girl looking for me, searching for me throughout the whole city, like multiple times. For I don't even know what reason. I don't even remember. Like, I think it was because I was friends with that girl that was pregnant and they hated that girl that was pregnant. She used to like search for me. Like, and I used to go to this after school program, and she would walk by the after school program to see if I walked in or walked out, or if I'm leaving, or if my sister picked me up, if my aunt picked me up. Like psycho, like literally psychotic. Her whole family hated me from literally 6th grade until 8th grade. And I kid you not, they're Salvadorian, so they were like 9, 10 chicks deep. And there was one in 7th grade, 5th grade, in high school, and there was one that was graduating high school. And they were all looking for me. This is when cell phones like just kind of came out. This is when everybody had like the Sidekick and the Razor. I would get texts from my friend, oh, this chick A is looking for you. And I'm like, damn, like what'd I do for this chick to always be looking for me? Again, I had a bad mouth. In class, my mouth would get me in trouble. I used to get detention all the time in middle school. Like, if you got like if you got your name on the board, it'd be a warning. And if you got a check, it'd be like another warning. And if you got another check, you had like to stay after. And if you had another check, it'd be like detention. My ass would have my name there with like 6 checks because my mouth always got me in trouble. That doesn't mean that my mouth got me in trouble with these chicks, because I was never talking to these chicks. Those girls, I really just didn't talk to them because there was no need to talk to them. So like that girl that was always searching for me, but I think it was really because I was friends with that girl that was pregnant and she hated her. So in 4th grade, I ended up transferring from the school I went to a whole different school because I was bullied that bad. I went to this other school within the city. It was literally across the street from my house. My behavior was good at this school, but there was another whole group of girls that didn't fuck with me. Now, they didn't fuck with me for different reasons. There was another girl I did cheerleading with. Those girls didn't like me either. At that time, I had a friend that liked one of the other girls boyfriend. The girl thought that I liked the boyfriend. It just turned to this whole drama. She was like the head, the HBIC. And it's funny because me and her are friends now, but she didn't fuck with me. So that meant all the other girls didn't fuck with me. I ended up transferring back to the other school where the girls didn't fuck with me there either. When I got there, they didn't understand why I left that school and came back. There's this one boy, I'm gonna say his name is Chris. Me and Chris used to literally argue in class. And I think me and him would put hands on each other. Like, that's how much we hated each other. And it was so bad. I was always in my counselor's office. We would get into so many arguments and my teacher would kick us out. Teacher would be mid-conversation. We would just be going at it. Now, the other problem was that he used to make fun of me because I was a black kid in the class and I was adopted by white people. But they didn't understand my family dynamic because I didn't talk about it because it was none of their business. But also, I never wanted to talk about it other than those two boys I was best friends with. We were really close. I used to be at their house. We used to play Ding Dong Ditch. Like, I was like one of the boys. Like, I was playing video games with them. I was playing sports with them. I was going away with them. Those are my best friends. Nobody understood why I was so angry or why I was the way I was, which is why I think a lot of the girls didn't mess with me or like think I was cool enough to hang out with them because they didn't get it. And I don't blame them because I never let them. This shit got so bad. My life was like taking a tumble anyways because my grandfather passed away after 5th grade. I ended up moving to this other city and I started brand new at this high school. And it was scary as shit, but it was the best decision like my family ever made. I can make a whole story time about high school. That was my favorite time. Like, high school, I lived my life. I got to start over. I got to meet new people. I got to play basketball on a good team. It was just like crazy. I just think that bullying in middle school is something that is so common. And even in high school, like, high school is probably the worst. I've heard some crazy stories in high school. I wasn't bullied in high school, thank God. But middle school changes you. That's when puberty starts kicking in, and that's when like girls start liking boys or girls start liking girls or boys start liking boys. And you know, like, you're trying to find yourself, and like that extra being unfuckwithable part is like, it just sets you back a lot, you know? But I guess my advice is, if you're being bullied in middle school or elementary school or high school or college, whatever the case is, make sure you never forget who you are. Don't let anyone push you away from doing something you want to do. It just gives them that power. Like, they keep going and going and going, and the day you tell them basically to screw off, they stop. And I know in elementary and middle school, like, your school and your friend seems like the entire world, but it's really not. People grow so much within that time. You're finding yourself in middle school and elementary school and in high school, and even in college you're finding yourself. So you got to give people the benefit of the doubt. You don't know what's going on in their lives. Like, a lot of those people that were bullying me had some crazy shit going on. And me, for example, like, I had a huge attitude problem because of what I was going through, but nobody knew that because I didn't tell them. And once people realize that you're not what they think you are, or you are what they think you are, and you own it, they don't bother you anymore. Like, a lot of the girls that used to call me a lesbian, they all have girlfriends now, and it's really funny to me because I'm like, damn, all that time you're bullying me, oh my god, she's such a lesbian. Yeah, but look at it, now you got a whole wife, or you have a whole kid, or you have a whole girlfriend. You don't know what you are or who you are when you're that young, and you don't know what you're going to become or what you're going to like or what you're not going to like. Some of us know what we like when we're younger. Some of us don't, and that's not a problem, but that doesn't give you the okay to go and bully someone. But anyways, if you have been through the same things, make sure you leave a comment at the bottom. I definitely want to hear your story. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video.